Yankees, how do you say we win a brand new ball game? We're gonna shout when we powder the ball. We're gonna scream, put it out of the ball. The other team's gonna know what it means. Yankees, shouting out loud, we love the Yankees. We really proud of our Yankees. And we wanna win today. The great ball and run, high, jump, 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 jump. We're gonna shout when you powder the ball. We're gonna scream, put it on the volume. The other team's gonna know what it is. Play the my game and Yankees, shouting out loud, we love the Yankees. We're really proud of our Yankees. And we wanna win today. Why?
Hey there, everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and we are replaying the 1976 Yankee season. This is game one. It's Jim Catfish Hunter against Jim Slayton, the battle of the Jims. Now, Jim Slayton was 14-15 with a 3.44 ERA and almost 300 innings pitched, while Catfish Hunter for the Yankees was 17-15 with a 3.53 ERA and 298 innings pitched, just 6 more than Slayton. So in this era, pitchers went much, much longer, and that's represented by the cards as well. In the upper right-hand corner, in the middle there, front end of the slash, you'll see a 34, and that's how many batters he can face. And it's going to be 34 for Hunter and 33 for Jim Slayton. We're joining the action in the bottom of the 7th inning, and it's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Robin Yount has struck out, and it's Pedro Garcia coming to bat. The score right now is 3-2. Milwaukee. It was a 2-run homer in the first by Don Money, and then it was a solo shot in the 5th by Charlie Moore that has given the Brewers a 3-2 lead over the Yanks. And the way you play inside pitch, is you read the one die is going to be for the column, the other die is going to be for the row, and I'm reading blue and then yellow. So column and then row, and then it'll give you a result. And depending on that result, you may use the batter card or you may use the stadium card. So it's pretty simple to play. It's a lot of fun. They have a lot of modern seasons available. You can get the 80s, you can get the 70s, you can get the 90s. So a lot of the seasons are available. Seasons you can't find in other places. It's fairly affordable. It's a fair price, relatively speaking. And they're pretty nice cards. I got these today, and they've got they're in color. They've got a portion of the card in color that basically shows you what team, the team colors and so forth. So let's get started. Well, let's continue on with inning number. We're in the bottom of the 7th. There's 1 out, and it's going to be Pedro Garcia. Now Garcia batted .204, so not much of a hitter. He's the second baseman, and ends the season with Detroit. So that's going to be a 5-6, right? So let's look at that. That's a 5 is the column, and then 6 is going to be the row. And for a right-hander, it's going to be a K+, which means you add 10 points. So the K against a right-hander for Garcia is 13, so that's 23. And then the stadium adds 2 more, so I don't even have to roll a 20-sided die because even a 20 would be below 25, so that's a strikeout. So that's back-to-back Ks by Jim Catfish Hunter for the Yanks. And there's 2 out now. And now we go to Charlie Moore, the leadoff batter. Now, Charlie Moore is 2 for 3. He singled in the first, scored a run, and then homered in the fifth. Here's the pitch from Catfish Hunter, 5-2. Now, this is going to be a range play in the park. Range play RP, and then the at symbol means the county stadium, the park. And that's what we're going to do. We are going to roll on the park, see what happens. And that's a 3-1. A 3-1 is a range play shortstop. So the shortstop for the Yankees today is Jim Mason. Let's check Jim Mason's range. Pretty soon I'll memorize the Yankees, and then I'll just have to look at. So Jim Mason's range is a 2, not very good. So we have to roll a 2 or less for him to get to that ball. Otherwise, it's going to be a single, and it is a single. And on at first is Charlie Moore with his third hit of the game. All right, it's going to be Don Money now with 2 outs and a runner on first. Now, let's see Yount's running. He didn't steal many bases. He had 1 stolen base, so yeah, he won't be attempting to steal. Let's roll for Don Money. We're going to look off of Hunter's card. You look at the pitcher's card first and then potentially the batter. It's going to be 2-1. And if Hunter is tired, which he is not, he hasn't reached his maximum batters faced. And because he just started his 3rd round. So basically it was, let's see, 9 and 9. That's 18. That's 20. Oh, wait. No, he's 34. 27. So we're at 20. We're at 29. Batter 29. So 2-1. So it's not going to be a fatigued hit. So that means it's going to move over to the batter's card. And Money batted 267. That's a 1-3, and that's going to be a question mark 7. Now, question mark 7, that you look up here, and that's like a range play. It's like an automatic range play off of the batter's card against a right-hander. It's going to be 1-3 is a single, 4-9 is a double, and then a 10 is a triple, and then the rest are flyouts to the left fielder. So let's see what happens on the 20-sided die. And that's a 15, so that's a fly ball that the left fielder, Roy White, catches up to, and that retires the side. All right, and leading off is going to be Roy White against Jim Slayton. Slayton can face 33 batters, and we'll look and see quickly how many batters he's faced so far. So that's 9, 18, 27. This is going to be his 28th batter, so they still have some endurance left. So Roy White, here's the pitch to Roy White. That's a 1-3 off the pitcher's card, and Roy White is batting lefty. He's a switch hitter batting lefty, and that's going to be a K. A K against a right-handed pitcher is a 7+2 because there's a +2 K at the stadium. That's going to be a 9. So we're going to roll a 20-sided die, 9 or less, and as a strikeout, we roll a 1. So it is a strikeout. He blows one by Roy White, and that's 1 out now. Next batter is Thurman Munson. Thurman Munson is 1 for 3. That's a 4-2. A 4-2 is going to be a ballpark. Let's see what happens in the ballpark. 66 in the ballpark is a fly out center field. So Munson drives one, but the center fielder runs it down. I'll tell you who the center fielder is in a second. I'm learning these teams. It's Sixto Lezcano out in center field. So he runs it down. And there's 2 outs, and it's Chris Chambliss. Scores 3-2 here in the top of the 8th. Pitch from Slayton, 5-5. And that's going to be, if he were tired, it'd be a single, but he is not, so it's going to go off Chambliss. Let's see what happens here. 3-3, and that's going to be a ball that's driven in the gap, and after it is Lezcano, and he makes it. Makes a nice catch. So back-to-back flyouts to center field. And Lezcano showing his range in 1976 at County Stadium in Milwaukee. If he keeps that up, he's going to become a fan favorite. And it's George Scott. It's going to be George Scott, Darrell Porter, and Hank Aaron. Yes, Hammerin' Hank Aaron. This was his final season. He's playing with the Brewers in 1976. Jim Catfish Hunter. So we're going to read off the pitcher's card. We roll 2d6, and we're reading the dark one first. That's 2-4, so it's column 2, result 4, and that's a potential strikeout. It's 14 against a right-handed pitcher, plus the 2 from the stadium. That's 16. So we're going to roll a 20-sided die and see. It's 17, so it's not a strikeout. So now we're going to roll off George Scott's card, and it's a 1-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop Mason, who's up with it, and throws out Scott easily. Darrell Porter, the catcher. Darrell Porter is 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. That's a 22, and that's going to be off of Porter's card. It's a blank. When it's a blank, you go off the batter's card. 1-1, and that's going to be a fly ball, high fly, center field. In comes Mickey Rivers. Makes the catch, 2 away. We're in the bottom of the 8th. It's 3-2 Brewers. And here's Hank Aaron, Hammerin' Hank, facing Jim Catfish Hunter. That's a 44. And this may be the last batter for Jim Catfish Hunter. So that was 27 and 5. No, 32. So that's a 44, and that's going to be a potential walk against a righty. It's 13 plus 1, so it's 14. 14 or less, and that'll be a walk. And that's ball 4 to Hammerin' Hank. So a 2-out walk to Hank Aaron, and it's Sixto Lezcano. Sixto Lezcano batted .285 and 500 at bats with 7 home runs, 14 stolen bases. Here's the pitch. That's 66, and that's going to be a blank, so that's going to go to the batter's card. Oh, foul ball. Another souvenir for the fans. And that's going to be a 62, and that's going to be a ground ball, second base. That's Willie Randolph there. Throws over to Chambliss, and that retires the side. So it looks like it's last licks for the Yanks here in County Stadium. Jim Slayton, we're going to take a look at. That's 27, 28, and 4, 20, 31. This is the 32nd batter, and Slayton can go 33. So we're going to look and see who the Brewers were using to close these games out. Jim Slayton, well, the Yanks actually were shut out in this game 5-0. In game 2, the Yankees come back and they win 9-7. And the Brewers using Eduardo Rodriguez. Let's take a look at some Brewer pitchers because we're going to need them. We can actually bring a pitcher in already. Eduardo Rodriguez, Jerry Augustine, Tom Murphy. All right, let's see here. Jerry Augustine, that's a left-hander. And it's going to be Gamble, a lefty, Nettles, a lefty, and Willie Randolph, a righty. Eduardo Rodriguez had 8 saves. Jerry Augustine had none. Let's see who. Oh, that's it. That's it for these guys. So you don't get every single guy. I would have to track these players down somewhere. They're somewhere in there in the set. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. So I'm going to bring in Eduardo Rodriguez to try to pick up a save. It's going to be a new pitcher. Eduardo Rodriguez. Okay. He's going to face Oscar Gamble. Oh, foul ball. Souvenir for a fan. Lucky fan. 4-3, and that's going to be against a righty, it'd be a potential home run. Against a lefty, it's going to go to the batter's card. See what Gamble could do here. 3-5, and that's going to be a line base hit center field. So Oscar Gamble leads it off with a single, and the tying run is on at first. Gamble has average speed, a little bit above average speed. Greg Nettles, that's a 62, and that's going to be against a lefty. It's going to be blank. That's a 21. 21 is a ground ball to the first baseman. This may turn into a double play. So he's a +1, and he's a +2, and this is the pivot man is going to be the shortstop, and Yount, I believe, is a 0, from what I remember. Yeah, Robin Yount is a 0, but the infield is halfway, so that's a +1. So we got +1, +2, +1 again. That's 4. So on one die, if we roll 4 or less, it's going to be a double play, 3-6-3 double play, and we do. And the runner at first is erased. 3-6-3 double play. There's 2 outs now, and it's Willie Randolph. Here's the pitch to Randolph. It's 3-2 off the pitcher's card, and that's going to be a potential walk. +1 there. Against a righty, it's 8. Oh, no, 16, 17. Got to look in the walk section. 17 or less, it's going to be a walk. And it's a 17, so that's ball 4. Walks him on 4 straight pitches. And Willie Randolph is a potential threat to steal. He's a +2. And the catcher, Porter, Darryl Porter, behind the plate for the Milwaukee Brewers. Let me see what Porter is really quick here. Porter is a +1. So a +1 and a plus, well, that's on the stolen base. So we're going to do a +2 and a 6, so 8 or less. And we roll at 20, so he doesn't get the lead. So it's going to be Rick Dempsey. That's going to be a 4-4, and that's off Dempsey's card. It's a blank. There's 2 outs here. 6-6, that's going to be a ground ball, second base. And the second baseman is Pedro Garcia. Throws out Rick Dempsey, and that's the ball game. So the Brewers beat the Yankees opening day by a score of 3-2. The Yankees had 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Brewers had 3 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Both those errors were committed early on by Robin Yount. And the win's going to go to Slayton. The save is going to go to, who was it? Eduardo Rodriguez. And let's take a quick peek at the box score. For the Yankees, Oscar Gamble had 2 hits. He went 2 for 4. And I believe, let's take a quick peek at that inning where the Yanks score those runs on the error. So that was a walk. That should be an unearned run because he scored on an error, and it was a hit, but ended up scoring. And we're going to toggle that and turn it into an error. It was a hit, but he ended up scoring on an error, and nobody else really, would have driven him in. So I'm going to make that an error, and then I'm going to go back to the box score and look at that. And they should, it removed 1 earned run from Jim Slayton. So Jim Slayton gives up 1 earned run and 6 hits in 8 innings. Rodriguez goes 1 inning, 1 hit, and no errors. And Catfish Hunter goes 8 innings, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. So that's it for April. I don't think that's April 16th at all. Wednesday, April 16th. No, that's not. So we're going to have to fix that. Let's try to get that. And that's about it. Let me correct that. I believe this is the 8th, April 8th. And I'm going to check that out. Let's go back one. Previous game. Yeah, the first game was April 8th. It was Thursday, April 8th. Start time was afternoon, 1:35 p.m. And I was in high school at that time. I believe I was in high school. Oh no, or middle school. So Hunter gets the loss, Slayton gets the win, Rodriguez gets the save. The location, going to write in the location. It's going to be County Stadium. And that's all she wrote for this broadcast of the 1976 home opener for the Milwaukee Brewers against the New York Yankees. And save. Yeah. All right, we're going to save these two. Create this team. 3-letter abbreviation. Letter abbreviation for the opponent, MIL. And then home field for New York Yankees. Should be Yankee Stadium. There it is. And then American League East. That's correct. Home field for New York Yankees. And now we're going to do the same. Anyway, that's it for Yankees lose the first game of the season, and we will be back with more. So who's there? Al Red Sox fan, how are you, man? Happy New Year. I will see you in a little while. I'm going to come back with a payoff pitch game. This was a little bit of inside pitch, just 3 innings. Yankees lose it by a score of 3-2. Catfish Hunter gets the loss. Jim Slayton gets the victory. Pretty good and close game throughout. Take care.